Peace and blessings, you guys. I had to try to find some other electronic device to be able to go live from because, of course, my camera, which is this right here, is not picking up signal um, where we are, which is like out in the middle of nowhere because we actually have a snowstorm going on right now. And I've been trying for the last 30 minutes to get a good signal on my Revo, but unfortunately, I did not get the signal, and time was continuing to go past. So I had to find my I had to find my Samsung laptop and then my cell phone. So I'm gonna try to go live from my phone as well, from my Facebook page, so that I can do this video for you guys because I didn't want to cancel it again. Um, it's very cold right now, and I have a heater. I have a heater going on. So if y'all hear something, it's probably my heater that you hear um, behind me. But let me push live on my Facebook page. So, oh, I keep forgetting that my laptop screen is touchscreen. I don't want to accidentally push in stream on y'all. Okay. Uh, let's see how we're going to get this to work. All right, let's see. So, I have a few notes. Peace and blessings, you guys. This is Gabrielle with Herbally Defined and or Mother's Herbal Instincts, depending on which platform you are viewing from. I'm already live from my Herbally Defined page, so you've already heard this. But I just went live from Facebook. Yay. Okay. So I had technical difficulties, so now I have to stream from my phone, which is you, and then I have to stream from my laptop, which is you. Okay. Um, but this, if you looked at the title, this is talking about how to enhance melanin. And when I'm talking about melanin, this does not mean that it's strictly directed to Black people. It just means that the basis of what I'm speaking is to be focused on melanin production. So what I wanted to start off with is giving a little bit of understanding as far as what melanin is, because not everybody knows what melanin is, and that's pretty much because we weren't really taught what melanin is. We were kind of taught that it's no big deal. It's just something that the body secretes. But my phone's doing weird stuff. Okay, I'm gonna stop looking at my phone. Um, but what melanin is it's a biochemical substance um, that drives the physical, mental, spiritual, and emotional aspects of every human being's life. Okay. And so the melanin is vitally important to be properly functioning in our bodies. Now, the truth is, you have different nationalities of people who have higher amounts of melanin production. Okay. Every person on the face of this earth produces melanin. Okay. But you have some nations which produce more melanin than others. And so, um, with the Black race or the colored race, we produce higher amounts of melanin. Okay. And then with your European races, you they produce less melanin, but they still produce melanin. Okay, if they didn't produce melanin, you wouldn't have pigment in your hair, you wouldn't have pigment in your eyes, you wouldn't have pigment in any area of your body. Okay, Melanin is not only just produced by our bodies, it's produced in the environment as well. Okay, and so that's what I want to talk about, making sure that we're consuming foods that encourage melanin production, encourage proper, um, dissemination of melanin throughout the body, and proper function of melanin. Okay. And so I'll go more in depth at a later time. I may put up a article on my Facebook page if you're interested in more information on melanin, or you want to know the in-depth understandings or the in-depth functioning and workings of the melanin. I'm thinking about possibly putting up um, a blog, not a blog, but a writing like I normally do with a note. I guess on Facebook it would be called a note. Okay. So, um, melanin, I told you, it's a biochemical substance that drives the mental, physical, and the spiritual aspect of human life. Okay. It can be found inside and outside of the body. All right. Um, melanocytes are the cells that contain organelles called melanosome, which are what actually makes the melanin. Okay, so the key is to this video is, how do I eat to enhance the melanin? The focus of enhancing the melanin is important because it's the chemical substance, like I stated, that drives all of the working functions of your body. It's actually the backbone um, of immunity. Okay, it's the foundation of immunity. And so, if you want your immunity to be superb, you want your immunity to be the best that it can possibly be, you want to make sure that you are nourishing melanin. Okay. Now, what gland secretes melanin? The pineal gland. Okay. So you want to make sure that we're eating proper foods, we're getting in proper herbs that are going to help stimulate the proper health of the pineal gland so that melanin production can go on. And so that's what I'm going to tell you about. So, um, there are certain foods which I can do. I start with the foods first because we have a tendency to lean more towards using um, what has been labeled as or classified as supplements as a way to obtain optimum health. Okay. So, like, my page is herbally defined, or Mother's Herbal Instincts, and I'm constantly talking about different herbs to help benefit society, or to help benefit mankind in general. But the push is not getting those herbs in your system to make you have a optimum way of life. The the urge and the push is to make sure that you change your eating lifestyle. Okay, change what you're putting in your body so that way the herbs can actually help benefit and help stimulate the proper production of health to continue going forward, and not being used as a way to establish health. Okay, I hope that made sense. So herbs are good. Herbs are good to get in your system, but I don't want you to just use herbs when you're sick. Use herbs to restore the homeostasis of the proper functioning of your body. Use herbs when you just ate some junk food and you have poor eating habits. So you're going to use herbs to supplement or fix an ongoing issue that can easily be resolved by just changing your eating lifestyle. Okay, so I want to start off with the foods that you can eat to help enhance the production of the melanin first, and then I'm going to give you the herbs that you can um, get into your system to help as well with the proper distribution of the melanin in your system. Okay, so these foods pretty much we're all familiar with. There may be some foods that you may not be familiar with because there's a few of them that I wasn't familiar with, and one of them being blue grapes. I didn't know there was a such thing as blue grapes, but that's a food that helps enhance melanin. Okay, and so sorry, I'm blocking y'all because I'm trying to move my I'm trying to move my phone over because I keep going off the camera, keep going off the screen. Okay, so the foods, the common foods um, that will help with the melanin enhancement is apricots. Oh, I said that backwards. Are apricots, apples, peaches, mangoes, papayas, your star fruit, figs. Figs are really good. I really love figs. Dates. They're very, very sweet. And I say the best way to eat a date is with some kale. Saute you some kale or eat some kale chips and have a date with. It's gonna be so much easier to get it down just because it's so sweet. For me, to me, it's really sweet. And so how I get them down is by eating it with kale. So that's a good pair. Bananas. I want to stress to you only use the real bananas, like the bananas I talk about, the alkaline bananas. There are certain bananas that if you ever come across a Dr. Seabee's alkaline foods chart, he has the bananas on there as well, which are the ones that we eat. The little banana, the finger, they're like finger banana, and then you have the burro banana, and then you have the Thai banana. All of those bananas are alkaline, and so those are the bananas that I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the bananas you buy in Walmart. That's full of sugar. Um, what else? Plantains, yams, red cherries. I already said blue grapes. Guava. Am I saying that right? Guava. It's Guava. Broccoli. Mm, that's on the list, but right now I'm still trying to see if that's really a God made vegetable or if it's man made, like if it was a hybrid or something. Because I know cauliflower is. I know cauliflower is a hybrid. So I try to encourage people to stay away from the hybrid foods because they have an effect on your genetic construction as well. And so, anytime you put anything synthetic in your body or any type of hybrid food in your body, it has the ability to alter the genetic frame and genetic structure of the cell. And then what happens is you have those cells replicate, they'll continue to replicate themselves. So then instead of having um, a fresh or natural cell, now you have like some type of genetically modified warped cell because you ate some genetically modified food, which that's how we'll talk about it more because that's another way how the melanin comes into play too. But right now we'll stick to this. We have spelt, um, wild rice, blueberries, collard greens, oranges. Now there's specific oranges too. You want to only get Dr. Sebi recommends the Seville oranges. They're very, very hard to come by. Um, there goes Daddy's iPad going off. Oh, oh, okay. It just stopped. I thought I was gonna have to pause and go take him the iPad, but it just stopped. Dr. Sebi talks about Seville oranges. You can come across the Seville oranges at like an Indian mart. I found a lot of these fruits at an Indian mart that we have here locally. Well, like an hour and a half from me. So whenever I do go into the city, um, we have a Indian mart, which I've been in there. They also have the amaranth greens. So that's another one. You're not going to find amaranth greens anywhere else, which is like a substitute of spinach. So if you don't want to eat spinach, because I believe spinach is a hybrid too. It's a cross between two other vegetables. And so amaranth greens or amaranth spinach is what would be the equivalent or the alternative to the regular spinach that we purchase in the store. Okay, so like an Indian mart, a Mediterranean store. Here, our store is called Pan Asia. So we go to Pan Asia and we're able to get a lot of the different exotic fruits as well. What else? Dandelion greens. They are so good. They're bitter, but they're really good. And so those are good for nourishing your melanin as well. Um, Fresh olives, strawberries, currants, and turnips. Those are just a few. Um, but notice how none of those things are something that you had to like fry or cook or add sugar to or anything like that. And that's the basis. What actually destroys the melanin is us consuming a lot of the junk foods or snack foods or fatty foods, a lot of dead food like meat. Consuming a lot of meat actually damages the ability for your body to produce the melanin. And you want your body to be able to produce the amount of melanin that it was designed to produce, so that if you come across getting into a sickness or getting into illness or having any type of ailment go on with your body, any type of breaks, fractures, you want to be able to have melanin accessible because it helps to bring healing and balance back to the body. That's what that substance is for. It takes on many shapes and forms. Um, it's like that's a horrible comparison, but I'm gonna say it's like plastic. You can bend it and mold it and shape it to do whatever it is that you want it to do. And so, much like the same thing with melanin, that's why I said it drives the function of the mental, the spiritual, and the physical and emotional capacity of every human being. Okay. And so, the more melanin that you have in your body, the more apt that you are to fight off disease, the more apt that you are to fight off free radicals going crazy in your body, which causes aging really fast. I've heard before, I've heard this saying before that, what is it? How does it go? Like, it's like I guess you could say racial, whatever, but they like, black people have a tendency not to they don't wear their age on their face, like their face doesn't wrinkle it doesn't wrinkle at the rate other nations or other nationality of people uh does. However I supposed to say that, I think I butchered that. And it's not because of what we put on our face, it's not because of what we use, it's not because we have the best beauty secrets, beauty products, or beauty lotions or shea butter. And that adds to it. But it's actually because of the melanin production that is in our body and the nourishment of the melanin or the nourishment of the pineal gland. Okay. And so when you nourish that gland properly, it's able to secrete the melanin to be able to function and fight off against the free radicals that will come into your system. Because now how the free radicals are being able to just operate is because we live in a society now where we eat a lot of fake food. We eat a lot of junk food. We consume a lot of alcoholic beverages. We are in environments where there's tons of chemtrails that's ruling the airways. And so these dramatically affect the body. But when you have the proper amount of melanin being produced and the proper amount of melanin being distributed through the body, your body is able to combat against all of the adverse uh, little foreign invaders that are trying to come in to destroy it. Okay. And so, for those of you who lack the amount of melanin that is produced in your body, which would be on the lowest degree, it would be the European. Now you have some that are in the middle, which would be considered like your Native Americans, the Hispanics, or who else? Your Mexicans, your um, what is this? What do you say? Asians, the Japanese, and the so yeah, Asians. Would that classify everybody if I say Asians? Is that politically correct? I forgive me. But everybody else in between, they have a little bit more melanin than the European. So what you actually want to do, if you don't produce as much melanin, you want to make sure that your eating lifestyle is in a manner where you produce the amount of melanin that you have, and that your body is able to use that same amount of melanin to the best of its ability, and to be able to function for the mode and the spectrum that your body is able to put off. Okay. I'm telling you right now, eating the American diet and you're a European, that's not going to be good for you, because you're already your body already makes low amounts of melanin. Okay, so this is why I stress the I guess what you would call the alkaline diet or plant-based diet. And I don't like the word diet. Plant-based eating lifestyle. Now, it's fine to eat meat here and there if you want to, but to make your whole plate every single day just full of meat, it's not wise. It's especially not wise for the European. And this is why you're able to see the genetic structures of the European being beginning to break down. This is why you see a lot of different diseases that take place with our European brothers and sisters, because of the eating lifestyle that they choose to eat, and genetically not being able to produce the same amount of melanin that we produce, or that other nations above them that I've mentioned produce. Okay, so when it's a bad combination to produce the least amount of melanin and eat the American diet, it's a bad combination. Okay, but this is on the flip side for the black people, or the dark color races, or the colored races, or any other any other nations that I've mentioned, which would be your Mexican nation, your Hispanic nations, your Indian, no, not Indian, your native nations, the Asian nations that I've mentioned. On the flip side, you're dramatically being affected in a bad way. Even though you produce large amounts of melanin, you're being affected in a bad way, because you're eating the same type of diet, American diet, that they are eating. The American diet is not good for anybody to be eating. Okay, but it's especially bad for you, because what happens, like I may mention a little bit ago earlier in the video, is because the melanin can take shape and it can take form, and it's a polymer. Because the melanin is designed to bind, what happens is, when you eat these synthetic foods, and you eat or consume these pharmaceutical drugs, or you consume these recreational drugs, or you're allowing too much alcohol to flood your system, what happens is the melanin is going to bind to it, but it's only binding to it so that it can excrete it out of your system. But because we consume so much of the American diet, we consume so much of the alcoholic beverages, we flood our lungs with so much of the marijuana, or what other drugs that you can inhale into your body, because we flood our system with so much toxicity and with so much fake food, processed food. The melanin binds to it, but it's so much coming in, it doesn't have the ability to excavate it out of the body fast enough. So what happens is when it binds to it, it's still in the system, and it's so much going in the system that the melanin in turn actually creates this weird genetic cell, and it begins to replicate this weird genetic cell. It's completely modified. The synthetic drug or the synthetic food has completely modified the melanin cell to where now it's making modified, abnormal, replicated, genetically altered melanin cells. Okay? And so now it can't properly function, and it can't properly do what it's designed to do, which is to help with the physical health, help with the emotional and the mental health, help with your spiritual well-being, and actually affects it negatively because of the influx of the toxicity that's taking place in our body. Okay? So, like I said, on the flip side, for those of you who are full of the melanin, with eating this type of diet, you are dramatically altering your ability to fight off disease. You're altering your ability to fight off aging too soon. You're altering the ability to be able to counteract against um, the free radicals running rampant in your body. You're altering the ability for melanin to function properly and be the foundation of immunity. And so what happens is, if you look at our people now, if you look at the Black race, why do I keep saying race, man? The Black nation. If you look at the Black nation, you'll see that we are just, disease is clinging to us. It's clinging to us. And it's clinging to every other melanated nation as well. And it's all because we refuse to eat according to what is going to help nourish the glands that produce the biochemical substance to advance life. Okay? Melanin is what is going to help you live optimally. Okay? No type of herb is going to be able to restore that if you do not plan on eating and living properly. Okay? A lot of us look to herbs as the way to fix all. But the herbs are there, it's given so that your body can stay in the proper function, in the proper homeostasis. It's not given to correct. You take it right now and then it's going to correct it. It's given to aid the body in its healing process, in staying at the right pH, in staying. It's there to help stimulate. Okay? I hope I'm making sense with that. It's there to help stimulate the process that your body's already designed to go through. Okay, so I hope that made sense. It's a lot. It's a mouthful. It's a lot that we can talk about. It's a lot that we can go into with this, but I didn't want to make this video too long. I just wanted to give the proper foods, and I wanted to make sure that the emphasis is on changing your eating lifestyle instead of getting certain herbs so that you can live better. Because the truth is, you can get all the herbs you want. You can get all the essential oils you want. You can get all the vitamin supplements that you want to help to make you think it's going to help you become to live optimally or to live better. But the truth is, if you don't change your eating lifestyle with it, it's not going to change anything. You're going to feel better for the moment, but then the minute that you go back to eating and consuming the things that you shouldn't, that was already tearing your system down, tearing your body down, what those herbs did for you, what those oils did for you, it's not going to matter, because the herbs and the oils were designed to have a symbiotic relationship with your body. They're designed to help the body continue to flourish. They're not designed to bring total and complete healing to you. That's not what they're designed to do. They're actually designed to help the body stay in that state. Okay, so along with the herbs and along with the essential oils comes you making sure that you're putting in your body what's needed, which is the proper amount of food, the proper substances that is actually going to bring those life energies. Eating fruit is what's going to stimulate melanin energy. Okay. Eating vegetables is what's going to stabilize the melanin energy. And when you add those herbs in the mix, when you add those essential oils in the mix, it's like adding ginger or adding cayenne to your tea. It's like adding both of those to your tea. It's going to cause it to go smoothly. It's going to cause it to activate quickly. You're going to feel that urge, that upsurge. The herbs are there to help everything move along and get to where it's supposed to go, and it's going to help it distribute properly. Okay, so I hope this video was informative. I hope that it kind of opened up your understanding more on melanin, and I will do some more videos here in the new future near future, on more other parameters of this amazing substance called melanin that we learn nothing about in school. Because it's very, very intricate. It plays a major role in the production of your serotonin and your melatonin hormones, which both come from your pineal gland. Okay, it's a little bitty gland, like really small, like the grain. Let me see it. Would I'd say it's about the size of a grain of rice, but then again, it depends on what type of grain of rice. Because the wild rice is like that long, and then you got your little white rice that's like that big. Okay, so bless y'all. If you have any questions, feel free. Like I say in every video, you can email me. You can type it in the chat room. I'm not going to be able to respond to it right now because I need both my hands, kind of. Yeah, so I may not be able to respond. I see the questions. Can you grow them or do you have to buy them? You know what? You have to buy them. I could say you can probably grow anything here. But the truth is, if it doesn't come from its native land, it's really not much benefit. Because the soil here where we are is horrible. It's been depleted. It hasn't had any rest. It hasn't had any type of proper nourishment, the proper minerals in this. It just hasn't. So even if you were able to grow it, I don't think you would get the full nutrient dense capacity you would get if you got it from where it naturally grows. I don't think blue grapes are indigenous to North America. You know what I mean? So you could probably look into growing. You probably could look it up and see if you can grow it. But if you end up finding out if you can grow it, I would see what does the soil require. Do the research on what is required. When we garden here, I try to make sure I'm researching exactly what type of nutrients does the soil needs for the fruits to be able to produce the energy that's needed to fuel our bodies. So you probably could look into seeing about if you could grow them. But I would see where they're native and they're indigenous to. And if you can get your hands on them, I would get my hands on them. A lot of our fruits and vegetables that I get are from Peru, Uh, yeah, like mainly Peru. But now even their soil, man, this let me tell y'all, this uh, this modernizing everything and technologically advancing everything and making things convenient is really hurting us agriculturally. It really is. And so it's kind of hard to find anything in its pure state anymore. But I would definitely look into that. If you are able to grow it, see what's actually required of the soil so that you can get the best production possible. Alkaline will help our melanin. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It definitely will. Alkaline, I believe, is another word for melanin. Just like I believe energy is another word for alkaline. So the more you start reading and the more you start understanding, um, getting the understanding behind the chemical substance, the biological processes of your body, you'll start seeing that these words and these terms that they've put out here for us to grab a hold of actually stem from the same thing. And so I would say yes. Uh, Hallelujah. You're welcome. Hallelujah. Yes, you guys are welcome. And whatever I learn, I try my best to make sure I put it out there for you guys and make sure that the information and the links and the references are made available to you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and end the video because I haven't eaten anything yet. And I wanted to make sure I made the video first because if I eat something, I'm going to be ready to lay down. So bless y'all. And if you believe that this video can be a benefit or help to anybody that you know, go ahead and send the video. And I look forward to being able to make some more. Bless y'all. Peace. All right, I'm ending one. Now let me end y'all. See y'all later. Notes. Peace and blessings, you guys.